everyone, welcome to Shell's Sugar Rush and welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to be celebrating my granddaughter's 7th birthday, and if you have followed my videos, last year she wanted a cake from Disney Descendants. She wanted Mal's Spellbook, so that's what we did. This year she has chosen to have a Sofia birthday party, so we went with a Disney princess cake with Sofia included, and then some Sofia treats, of course, to match the theme. And we're actually having a dinner and just some of her favorite items, of course, fried chicken from KFC and some barbecue, and then some of her favorite sides to go along with that as well. So we are just about ready to get this party going. Happy birthday, Haley. So we actually chose to do some cake pops and brownie pops just because brownies are her favorite. So here I just wanted to show you a clip of how I molded these. I didn't use an actual mold or anything. I just, of course, made the brownie pop batter and then kind of rolled it in my hands and kind of rolled it at an angle so there would be, a cone shape to it. So of course they're not perfect, but they're going to give that shape that I need just to have the bottom of Sofia's dress. And I did this, like I said, with all of the cake pops as well as the brownie pops. And here I'm working on the Rice Krispie treats, and I have already used a cutter and just cut out a shape. I used part of a circle cookie cutter and then cut a flat bottom on one edge just so that it can stand up and be like a full skirt for Sofia's dress, or the bottom of her dress. So here I am just dipping my sticks into a little bit of that purple chocolate that I've colored, and I'm going ahead and pulling out the brownie pops as well as the cake pops at this point, and adding the sticks into everything that is going to have to be dipped that will be on a stick. So, and you can see here I have just taken some of my white chocolate and added some purple Chef Master candy color in there to get that to the shade of purple that I want to have for the dipping of all these, to get that color that we need for the bottom of Sofia's dress. And I've already printed and cut out some Sofia dolls and just cut out the top from the waist up. Of course, I did try to order some, like the little cupcake toppers, but they were just too small, to fit what I needed. So I ended up just printing my own. So here you can see I am dipping the Rice Krispie treats in the purple chocolate. And of course, I've got it in kind of a medium-sized glass dish. And of course, I have it sitting on the heating pad, which is how I like to keep my, chocolate warm for this process. So I'm going to continue these and get them finished. And now I am dipping the brownie pops. So what I'm doing, or what I chose to do, is just go ahead and dip everything. And I'm doing a little different decor on each of the different flavors, just to help me remember and to be able to tell everyone, once everything is done, be able to tell everyone which decor is which flavor. So sorry about the barking in the background, but my dog just heard something outside and started barking and ran out there. So anyway, I'm just going to finish up these brownie pops, but what I did with the brownie pops is just piped a little scallop with the chocolate in a bag. I piped a little scallop around the top area of the pop, and that way I would know that these are, the brownie pops. Now, for the chocolate cake pops, I'm actually dipping those and then covering them with the purple sanding sugar. And that, of course, then I'll know those are the chocolate cake pops. So I'm going to get these finished up and then go on to the vanilla cake pops. And for the vanilla cake pops, I actually piped kind of sort of like a scalloped border around the bottom area of the dress. And I did, since I did have to continue to refill my chocolate, as it got low, I did just make this last batch a little bit lighter, and I felt that was kind of fitting, since these are the vanilla cake pops and they're, going to be lighter inside than the rest. So, and of course that would help me remember as well. So anyway, just finishing these up, and then our treats that are going to be on a stick will be done. So here in this next clip, you'll see these are decorated. You can see the piping I did, and everything's ready for Sofia's head to go on, which I'll attach just with a little double-sided tape. And now moving on to the pretzel rods. I'm just dipping those here, and you can see what I've done is I have put a piping bag over a vase. This is kind of it's not a real tall vase, but it has just the perfect size mouth on it. I've put the piping bag over it and poured that chocolate down in there. And I really like doing it this way because it actually makes for a very easy cleanup when I get done, because I can just wrap that bag up and, tie it off. Now I am going to be drizzling these as well, so I am going to snip the top of it here. You see it's I've put a little hole in it, and I'm just going to go along and drizzle all of these with the same purple drizzle, and then our pretzel rods will be complete. So I'm going to finish these up, and then we're going to get started on the cake. And don't forget to stick around till the end so you can see clips from the birthday party as well. Now here I'm taking some green fondant and rolling that out, because this is going to be what is going to be covering my board. And I have a 12-inch board here that I'm going to be using for the base. And you can see here I've rolled it out, I placed it over the board, and I'm rolling it out a little bit more, and then I'm just taking just a sharp little paring knife here and cleaning up around the edges real well. And my fondant smoother as well, I like to use that, just to make sure everything, is nice and smooth on the top of the board. And now I'm taking some pink fondant, and this is going to be, of course, for the top of the towers. So I'm going to roll that out probably about a 1/4 inch thick, and I'm doing it kind of long ways like this because I actually have 2 impression pads that I'll be using to make the design that I want to be in there. And it's kind of just it's got the rectangular shapes on it, and you can see here it kind of gives it a brick look. And I like to place those down and then mash my fondant tool on there, so that I get that impression in them really well. Because once you start working with it, if you don't have that impression deep enough, you can tend to mash it out with your hands. And you can see here I've cut out one section that I needed, put it around a sugar cone, and you see I'm wrapping it, and I'm leaving a little bit on the end just so that I can flare that out. So since this is going on the top of those towers, and I'm just using my, my shears there to cut off that excess fondant and just seal it together, with my fingers, and make sure that's, sealed real well. So here I am taking some more of that pink fondant, and I'm going to do the same thing again to wrap the other 2 cones that are going to go on the top of those tower pieces. And I looked around for something to use for the towers, and I went to Hobby Lobby, and I actually found some, really pretty plastic, I don't know what you want to call them. But they're round, and they're kind of a scalloped look. They have kind of a scalloped look to them, and I'll pull them out here in just a minute, and you'll be able to see those. And they were just about the right size that I needed to put these, the cones on top of. But you see here at the bottom, like I said, I flared that out around the edges so that it can, give it that kind of flared out look at the bottom. Now here I'm rolling out some more pink fondant for a little banner that I'm going to be putting on the cake board with her name on it. And I've rolled that out pretty thin. I also added a little Tylose powder because I want this to firm up, pretty quickly. And I have 2 of my bubble tea straws here, and I am going to lay that banner piece on there, on top of those straws, just so it can set with, you know, the little ribbon look to it. And now I'm just pulling out my alphabet cutters. These are just, you know, just a standard simple cutter, and they have a little, you know, handle to grab on them. And I am cutting out her name with these out of this white fondant. And then I will place it on that ribbon. And I'm using a little bit of water in a brush just to, you know, adhere those letters to the ribbon. And of course, this will just set to the side until we're ready to put the cake together. And here I'm rolling out some more of that white fondant, and I need to roll it pretty thin and long because this is what's going to make that edge around the top of the castle on both of the tiers. And I'm just using my ruler here and my fondant cutter just to get a clean line on both sides. And I have one of my icing smoothers here, and it's the one that have the kind of teeth look to it. Not sure if there's a specific name for it, but I have just made impressions in that fondant with that edge, and then I'm using my little paring knife and taking out those pieces so that I will get that border. It's kind of like a crown molding border that I'm looking for the top of the castle tiers. So here I'm rolling out some more fondant and taking a very large cutter, and I am cutting out pieces to make windows for the castle. And I'm just doing, you know, kind of arching it and then putting a clean edge across the bottom of each one. And those are going to go on there as, like I said, windows on the castle. So here is the bottom tier of the castle, and this is an 8-inch chocolate cake, which is her favorite cake. And here I'm just putting some of the wooden dowels in to support that, that top tier that's going on here. So I've cut them down to size and put them in the cake. Now you see I'm working kind of with the back of it there, because that top tier is going to sit towards the back, just as this tier is sitting towards the back of the board. And here I just have a Viva paper towel just to kind of clean up any areas where, you know, my hand may have damaged when I was, you know, moving that cake to the cake board. So, and I've taken some buttercream in a piping bag as well to go around that bottom edge, just to seal any, you know, creases that formed in that movement. And here I've placed that top tier on, and this is a strawberry 6-inch tier because she did request chocolate and strawberry for her cake. And again, I'm taking the buttercream and just sealing around the edge and then cleaning that up with my small offset spatula. Now here, you know, the cake is ready. Of course, it's kind of back heavy because of where you know, how the placement is, but I'm going to be having the dolls and the tower pieces on there. So I want the cake to actually set back as far as possible. So here you see I've put the molding around that first tier of the cake, and then I am going to put the windows on as well and go ahead and get this bottom tier decorated. I'm going to kind of turn it here where you guys can see what I'm doing. And of course, Haley is, you know, she's there kind of directing me a little bit. But you see I've got the door and the windows on the cake. And now I am going to start working with those towers as soon as I get the crown molding on the top of the cake. But actually what I did is I started putting the towers on, and now you can see the white plastic pieces I was talking about that I had found. And they're kind of, like I said, they're really beautiful. They're about 6 inches and they're kind of scalloped, so they worked out great. But what I did with those is I put some more fondant inside the ice cream cone to hold that, that white pillar in place in the ice cream cone. So, and then I've got the ice cream cones placed where I want them, or the towers rather, placed where I want them on the cake. And now I am placing the dolls, and of course Sophia has to go up front, and you can see Haley came in to help with the placement of the dolls. So we are getting the dolls on the cake, And then our cake will be finished, and our banner is going on the cake as well at this point. And now you'll get to see some clips from the party. So here's Princess Haley all ready for her party. And here you can see we have our finished treats. There's our cake pops. And of course our princess cake with Sofia up front there. And then of course on the other side we have our Rice Krispie treats, pretzel rods, and brownie pops. So we're all set, ready to get going. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. And stick around to see those clips of the party. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Haley. Happy birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
It's
a good wish.
Yay!
You're crazy. Mimi, I still have my earrings. Are you making a video?
Good job.
Mom.
Good job.
They were on my ears.
Where you hiding, Hannah?
Hide your face, Skylar. She's filming.
All right, Haley, you go ahead again.
Hold on.
All right, Dally. Pull one, baby. Come here.
Okay.
Pull that one. Pull hard. Good girl. Okay, let Mel do one now.
Pull one.
All right.
I knew she'd get a pink one.
Oh. All right. Who's next? Skylar?
next?
No, hold on, Dally. Hold on. It's Skylar's turn.
I ain't had a turn.
Oh, wait. Y'all didn't go? Good? Okay.
What the heck?
Grammy, I might just dump those out.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't have really nothing to beat them with.
Yeah, no, that's.
All right. Go
What
ahead,
in the
Dally.
world?
Run it out.
Good girl. No.
It's not one. A black.
All right.
It's like those trick candles. It's a trick pinata.
Yeah, you actually gotta pull the string from the top.
Okay.
Huh?
My teeth.
Oh.
All right. You're not gonna open.
Happy birthday, girl.
Seriously? Oh my gosh.
That means no candy.
Punch a hole in it.
Anyway.
Punch a hole in it and let it drop.
Do these two out? Yes. Just don't.
There we go.
My foot.
My candy. Yours. My candy. Excuse me, Grandpa.
Oh, by the way.
Did you get some, Mel? Okay, that's all you want?
You don't want no more? Okay.
I don't know. It was killing down there. It was like a sale at Macy's.
Oh, I want